Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to those you joining on our Zoom webinar and those joining on Facebook Live. Welcome to this Prasada offering today of embodying gratitude. Welcome to those joining on our Zoom webinar. And I'm getting some serious feedback here, so just bear with me a second. Okay. So, hi, I'm Jack Curley. I'm a whole being guide with Prasada. I've been practicing meditation, yoga, and approaching life with an attitude of service for most of my life now. And so I'm very happy to be here to share with you today a little bit about gratitude and hopefully to allow you to experience gratitude for yourself. This is the whole point of embodying gratitude. So at Prasada, we believe that everyone has the desire to thrive, and to us, that means to live a life of health, purpose, and joy. So today, the focus is going to be being mindful of gratitude. In other words, paying attention to what gratitude feels like, what it is for us. We're also going to look at its power to connect us to others, and therefore why it's sometimes called the social glue. But before we get into all that, I'd like to invite you to give yourself and myself a moment to arrive by taking 3 deep breaths. This is a very simple way to evoke the relaxation response and to enhance our ability to learn. So 3 deep breaths is simply breathing in through our nose, breathing out through our mouth. Just take a moment and allow that to sink in a little. Notice how just 3 simple breaths begins to relax us, begins to shift our experience of the present moment. Gratitude. We all have an instinctive sense, I think, of what gratitude is, but it's actually a little hard to define. So when you ask someone, well, what is gratitude? You get all kinds of responses. So I have that question for you right now. Do you have a 1 or 2 or 3 word definition of gratitude that jumps to mind for you? And I invite you to type that in the chat, share it with us all. I know when I was asked this question some time ago, I said, well, it's when you feel really grateful about something, which is kind of a closed loop there, isn't it? Gratitude is feeling grateful. So getting to know what gratitude is can be very helpful. So one person says, appreciate. Another, appreciation of blessings, which is a really interesting point because a big part of gratitude, understanding it, according to people who spend their time researching gratitude and have done so for many years, gratitude is about others. It's about recognizing that we've received something from someone or others. It may be a person, it may be a religious deity, it may be an organization. Another person says awareness and thankfulness. So as I looked into how people define gratitude, I found that some people call it an emotion. It's a long experience of a good feeling within. Other people say it's a virtue, that it's something perhaps that we are blessed with, or that we've cultivated as a positive trait. Others say it's a behavior, it's an expression. Psychologists, on the other hand, they have a different way of looking at it, I found. Some see it as, well, they usually see it as one of 3 things. It's a trait, which is an enduring quality, right? We have a trait of being grateful. So that's something that's part of our nature. Others see it as a mood. In other words, it rises and falls over time. So moods come and go. And then, of course, Others say it's an emotion, which implies in this sense that it's a physical sensation that lasts for some time and has a beginning and an end. So there are many ways to cognitively define gratitude, but today we're not going to spend so much time, we're not going to concern ourselves too much with the definition. What we're going to do is focus more on the experience of gratitude in our bodies. In positive psychology research, there is a strong and consistent association of gratitude with greater happiness. Gratitude, from their perspective, opens the door to more positive emotions. It increases our relishing of good experiences. It improves our mental and physical health, and research does show that. And it helps us to deal with adversity, and it helps us to build strong relationships. All of that, and it's free, because we all have this ability to experience gratitude, and we have. What we are doing in this webinar today is shining a light on it. We're bringing awareness to it, and bringing awareness to how potent gratitude can be for our own well-being. So in the email that we sent out for this webinar today, I suggested that you think of 3 people for or to whom you are grateful in your life. And if you didn't see the email, that's perfectly fine. Let's take a minute right now. I also asked you to bring a piece of paper and a pencil. So if you don't have that, you can collect that right now. And we'll take a minute and pause and just jot down those 3 people on that piece of paper that you are grateful to. It may not be people, it may be something else. Whatever it is for you, just note that. Okay, so for this exercise right now, choose one of those. And now sit back, relax, close your eyes. Take some nice, gentle breaths in through the nose. And if you're not comfortable closing your eyes, it's fine. Just soften your gaze and just bring your attention inside. Now, think of that person or something that you are grateful to, grateful for, and just bring them to mind. What are you grateful for about them? Be specific in your mind. What are you grateful for? What effect do they have on your life? Think about that. What effect does being grateful to this other have on your life? What is one good quality of that person that you admire? By now, you've evoked a feeling of gratitude within. Make a note. Is this a good feeling or a bad feeling? I'm going to assume that it's a good feeling. A great indicator of a good feeling is that you want more of it. So now, put aside the image and thoughts of that person and just savor the feeling of gratitude. As you can recognize that these thoughts of another person or another benevolent something has evoked a strong, pleasant feeling in you. And as you sit and just turn your attention to that feeling of gratitude. Just allow yourself to take some really calm, deep breaths as you just sort of relish the feeling of gratitude. Is it expanding or is it contracting? Take a deep breath in and slowly open your eyes and jot down a note or two, a couple bullet points of why you are grateful to that person. Just briefly, just a couple points. Take a deep breath in and breathe out long. Gratitude is often called a social glue. Research suggests that gratitude inspires people to be more generous, to be more kind and helpful, or pro-social. Research has found that it strengthens relationships, including romantic relationships, and may improve the climate in workplaces. Interesting. Think about that. Gratitude felt in your own heart might improve the climate in workplaces. Several studies have supported the link between gratitude and pro-social behavior. These studies have found that more grateful people are more helpful and generous, and that experimentally manipulating people's feelings of gratitude can lead them to be more helpful and generous, as can activities such as writing a gratitude letter. So in other words, in the studies, they found that as they evoked feelings of gratitude in people, that those people then showed these traits of being helpful and generous. From a white paper published by the John Templeton Foundation titled The Science of Gratitude, they call out this quality of gratitude of being a find, remind, and bind quality. And what they mean by that is gratitude helps us to find people who could be good candidates for healthy relationships. When we're grateful to someone, there's a connection. And when someone's grateful to you, there's a connection. And our brain and our being just automatically recognizes safety and possibly more. Find, remind, bind. The remind part is it reminds us of the goodness of our existing relationships. When we're grateful. So when someone you love goes away and you realize perhaps while they're gone why you are missing them and you're grateful for their company in your life. Find, remind, and bind. And gratitude binds people to their partners and friends by making them feel appreciated and encouraging them to engage in behaviors that prolong those relationships. So can you see how gratitude is like this wonderful elixir, nectar for relationships? It feeds, it supports and encourages. And this isn't only for us. I mean, there's many studies that look at it in other species too. Another study found that participants who were thanked for helping a student on an assignment were more interested in affiliating with that student in the future. And maybe you've had that experience yourself. Another study found that partners who had a series of conversations expressing gratitude to their partner reported more improvements in their own personal well-being and in the well-being of their relationship than did partners who had conversations in which they just disclosed something personal about themselves. So this movement from within, this appreciation, this movement of gratitude from one to the other is what creates a bond that has been called a social glue. So let's once again practice experiencing gratitude, embodying gratitude. This is a mindfulness practice in which we turn our attention to the experience in the body. So again, sit back, relax, take a deep breath in, and you can close your eyes or soften your gaze, whichever's most comfortable for you. Choose another person on your list to whom you are grateful in your life. Bring them to mind. What are you grateful to them for? What effect do they have on your life? What is one good quality of that person that you admire? I'm curious, is this feeling the same as with person number one, or is it a little different? There's no correct answer. It's for you to explore. Notice where you're feeling gratitude. Notice what that feels like, where you feel it in the body. And now again, pause your memory of that person and simply savor that feeling of gratitude as you recognize that these thoughts of another person have evoked a strong, pleasant feeling in you and created a connection to that person. Imagine what they would feel like as you express this gratitude to them. Do you think that would evoke a positive feeling in them? Savoring the feeling of gratitude in the body. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out long. Slowly, you can open your eyes and again, jot down a note or two about why you are grateful to that person. Just a few short bullet points. And now breathe in deep and breathe out long. Where does gratitude come from? Well, research suggests that gratitude is not simply a cultural construct or a way of greasing the social wheels. It has deep roots that are embedded in our evolutionary history, our brains and DNA, and in child development. Some scientists suggest that gratitude may have evolved as a mechanism to drive reciprocal altruism, thereby turning strangers into friends and allies who are more likely to help one another. And research not only sees this in Homo sapiens, studies have found that chimpanzees are more likely to share food with a chimpanzee that had groomed them earlier in the day, and are more likely to help another chimpanzee with a task if that chimpanzee had helped them in the past. Now, that might sound a little transactional, but if you think about it, there's an openness there that it has created between these two beings. It does the same for us. It allows us to find our best self. Neuroscientists have identified brain areas that are likely involved in experiencing and expressing gratitude, providing further evidence for the idea that gratitude is an intrinsic component of the human experience. One thing we know for sure is that our brains, our minds tend to have a negativity bias. And what that means is that we have evolved to be on the lookout for things that could threaten our survival. So it's a very well ingrained capacity to think of possible negative outcomes, negativity bias. Often our positive emotions are swept away quickly because the bent of our system is to get back on alert. So in positive psychology, it's suggested that we spend more time with our positive emotions by recognizing them when they're there, by pausing to spend time with it and recognizing the good that it's doing us. And therefore, it becomes a habit over time to recognize our positive emotions. So I'm going to lead you in a little bit of a longer gratitude meditation right now. I call it expanding our repertoire. So up to now, we've thought of people in our lives who are instrumental for some reason in our lives and to whom we are grateful. So let's expand that a little if we can. In this meditation, I'm going to suggest other sources of gratitude to consider and use to improve our physical and mental health daily. So sit back again, relax, and you can close your eyes or soften your gaze. Put down your pencil if you're still writing. And just enjoy this meditation. This isn't about trying. This is about allowing yourself to be and experience yourself. Think of someone you don't know well, but who supports your experience today in some way. For example, the bus or train driver, the delivery man, the neighbor who keeps an eye on your house when you're away, the people who harvest and sell your food, the people who make the clothing that you're wearing. Recognize that you benefit from the work of others. Consider that the gift of their work and see if you can let appreciation arise for those people. Savor the feeling of gratitude in the body. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out long. Now, think about the tools you use to support your work and daily life. Your computer, your books, your kitchen equipment, the buildings you live and work in, and other equipment that you use. Your car, your bicycle. Choose one. Consider all that was needed to create that. Those were human hands, for the most part, creating those. And you are deriving benefit from that. See if you can access appreciation and gratitude, that you have access to these tools and that they work because they were given the attention by someone else. Breathe in deep and savor the feeling of gratitude in the body. And now connect with gratitude for the people you work with. Think of a person whose work and effort directly supports your work. Appreciate their contribution, their good intention. And in your mind, you can offer a simple thank you as you savor the feeling of gratitude in the body.